Hi there. We have kind of a silly book. I don't know if any of you have already read this one, but it's pretty silly. It's called The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. So a lot of those fairy tales, Goldilocks, Cinderella, the Three Little Pigs, there's just lots of different ways that people tell them, lots of different variations. And here's one. There's the Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. And this one is by Eugene Trivas and Helen Oxenberg. Let's see. So it's illustrated by Helen Oxenberg and Eugene Trivas. Trivas is the author. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day, their mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "My children, it's time for you to go out into the world and go build a house for yourselves. But beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother. We will watch out for him," said the three little wolves. And they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. Well, they're fast builders. Look at them. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside and locked the door. You see them playing croquet? Excuse me. They're just being very peaceful, aren't they? They don't look big and bad like the other story. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. Looks like it blew the birds off though. Do you see that? But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his sledgehammer and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were very frightened indeed. Ooh, it's a mean pig, isn't it? "We shall build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, who gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little pigs built themselves a house out of concrete. Of a beaver, I was not expecting concrete. How about you? No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside their house and shut the door. The pig rang the bell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't blow down. That's too strong, isn't it? But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and got his pneumatic drill and smashed the house down. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling and trembling. What kind do you think they're going to build next? I see wire. Let's see. We shall build an even stronger house, they said, because they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming down the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks, heavy metal padlocks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars and armor plates, and some heavy metal padlocks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. Sure, said the rhinoceros. So he gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains, because he was a generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house anyone could possibly imagine, and they felt absolutely safe. What do you think is going to happen next? It looks kind of like a jail, doesn't it? The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. I hope I said big bad pig both times there. If I mess up, you're going to catch it, so you'll have to let me know. They ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Frightened little wolves with the trembling chins, let me in." You see him on the video phone there? "No, no, no," said the little wolves, "by the hair on our chinny chin chins. We will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He brought in some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fire, and the house blew up. Oh my goodness. He is a big bad pig, isn't he? The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. Oh, he's a mean one, that big bad pig. Something must be wrong with our building materials, they said. We have to try something different. But what? At that moment, they saw a flamingo coming along, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some flowers?" asked the little wolves. "With pleasure," said the flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. Does that seem like a good idea? That doesn't seem very strong, does it? What do you think is going to happen? One wall of marigolds, one of daffodils, one of pink roses, one of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor carpet was of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub and buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was very beautiful. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three wolves had built. You see the wolf with his water lilies in his bathtub? He rang the bluebell at the door and said, "Little frightened wolves with trembling chins and scorched tails, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." You think you can do it? I think it would be easy to blow down a flower house. Let's see. But as he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and another. Instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he'd been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig. He wanted to sing and dance with the tarantella. Those flowers made him nicer, didn't they? At first, the three pigs were a bit worried. It might be a trick, but soon they realized that the pig had truly changed, and they came running out of the house. They started playing games with him. First, they played Pig Pog, and then Piggy in the Middle. And when they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all lived happily together ever after. Wow, that was a different story, wasn't it? I know flowers make me nicer. Maybe it was the same for the pig. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.